Okay, namaste and welcome to the Mojosh Magnificent 7 International Women's Day special with outstanding heroes from the women community who have made a difference in our society and world. So namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum, Shalom, Dorud, and welcome to the Mojosh Magnificent 7 International Women's Day special. Namaste Itu, who's our co-host and co-founder, and Abba Khetrapal, Dania Ravi, Sunita Altinus, Namrata Boze Oladayo from Africa, and Meena. So namaste and welcome once again. So just to give you a little initiation, a very happy Women's Day to everybody and to everyone who's joined us on Facebook Live, and to just give you a little initiation about the Mojosh Magnificent 7. We have been doing this live oratory experiences, as we call them, not just events, but experiences at several offsites, corporate award functions, corporate events, and conferences organized by Toastmasters, BNI, Rotary, Lions. And the basic idea is that we want to inspire people that all of us in life break at some point and many, but when we break, if we choose to give up and break down, then the game is over. But if we persevere and decide to break through, then the game is on. It's about seizing the day and seizing the moment. And that's what we've been doing for the past 9 years. We've inspired over 3 million people, and now we're planning to actually organize live ticketed public events so that we can inspire many people around the world. So to give you a little insight about what the Mojosh Magnificent 7 experience concept is all about, we're going to play a video, which is the first video that we put together in 2014. Just an explainer video to explain to HR heads, to people in the corporate sector about what the Mojosh Magnificent 7 experience would be all about. So let's start with the video of the Mojosh Magnificent 7.
How does it matter if I have paralysis leg downwards? The human spirit is far, far more stronger than anything that can happen to it. I need to dedicate the rest of my life towards motivating people to let them know that they don't need to give up in life.
I was gang raped, brutally gang raped, but I chose to speak against it. shame is not on me that I was raped. The shame is on the rapist who raped me.
I had no courage, no hope. There was nothing that I had. And somewhere I sought the ability to recreate myself. So I gathered the pieces and recreated myself.
That my arms and legs were fractured at birth and I developed no muscles there through my lifetime. In class 12, I studied even harder and topped the country in business studies and sport writing.
I think a hero is a person who does something which is very small, but which makes a significant difference in society. So, as you would see, our slug line is the hero in me, because we actually believe that there is a hero in everybody, in every human being, in every living being. And Hero Har Dil Mein is the Hindi slug line. And we at the Rex Karmavir Global Fellowship for the past 2 decades, through the year 365, 24/7, have been curating real heroes from all over the world to award them the Karmavir Chakra Awards, the Karmavir Puraskar Awards, the Karmavir Maharatna Awards, and make them a part of the Rex Karmavir Global Fellowship. And we are very happy to invite you and welcome you to the Rex Karmavir Global Fellowship today. So over to you, Itu.
Thank you, Jerry. A very warm welcome and namaste to all of you here with us, the 7 heroes that we have, the Mojosh Magnificent 7, and namaste to all the audience that is watching in. And today we are celebrating the Women's Day special edition. But at the Rex Karamveer Global Mission, we believe that it's every day is our day and every moment is our moment. And we celebrate this Shakti that the woman is all about. And Shakti is a genderless word. It just means power. The power to move through the chaos, to move through the, downtime to the dark time and break through and not just be defined as broken, but to be defined as the Shakti, as the celebration, because women is a creator, the nurturer, and the contributor. No matter where she is and what she is doing, she's always a stalwart, who is as a beacon of light, hope, and nurturing for everyone. So today we are celebrating this power that we have with us in the Mojosh Magnificent 7, and also to inspire the world that don't give up. Because beyond giving up, there is hope. Beyond that is something that you will find. Your vulnerability, your downtime, your dark time, your breakdowns are ways and means to break through. And once you do that, you not only inspire yourself to just be unstoppable, unbreakable, and unshakable, you also inspire the world, man, woman, and children, to make the world a better place. And don't say never, and never give up. So here we are. Thank you so much for being part of this Women's Day special edition. And without much ado, we shall start with our first speaker, Abba Khetrapal. And over to you, Abba, to tell us all about you and your story and take us through.
Hello, good evening to you all. So I would like to share my story of resilience with you. I was 3 when I got polio, and the initial infection was quite severe. After that, life was rough and it was bumpy ride and continuous development of management strategies to face those challenges. Polio, which has caused a symmetrical freezing of my muscles, not only shaped my body, but also molded my personality. A virus, something that itself exists on the borderline, hanging between being alive or dead, had the power to write the manuscript of my life. I literally became a piece of biomedical engineering with many surgeries to straighten the curve of my spine, nail to straighten the little toe of my left foot, construction of a pulley to transfer tendons in my fingers, leg braces to walk, splints on my legs, kneecap to stabilize my knee, crutches, walker, wheelchair, numerous therapies, assistive aids, and me armored with resilience to navigate. As a person with disability, I received subtle messages from the environment all around that I was different from others. I never had a chance to go out partying, shopping, movies, never even thought about my likes and dislikes. For everyone, I was a good girl, compliant, more mentally mature than my age. Without friends and being daddy's good girl, I had well adjusted to the life that I had fought for just to survive. Disability can shatter the emotional health of a person. There were difficulties and challenges for me at every step. I had been molded inside a body not normal according to the norm. Now I realize that in reality I was undergoing duck syndrome. On the surface, I was effortlessly gliding across the rough waters of life. But below the surface, I was ferociously paddling to maintain the superficial, graceful appearance. Calm on the surface while frantically trying to keep up with the demands of life, especially on the emotional front. Now people ask me how come I am so strong. I realize that sometimes being strong is the only choice. It was a matter of my survival. My education never took a backseat. I was homeschooled for 10 years. I attended a regular school from ninth standard. I completed my university education through distance mode and managed to get 3 master's degrees. All I had, all I had always dreamed of joining civil services, but due to the lack of accessible facilities during those days, stopped me from fulfilling my dreams. I got absorbed in the teaching work of my father's coaching center, but I became financially independent. I thankfully got the right people around me with the right mindset within. That downward spiral took a U turn. Bouncing back like a bamboo tree, I believed resilience is the hope cloaked in reality. Through my resilience, a refined optimism grew. My own need for support and psychological guidance drove me to get a professional degree on the subject, and I learned a lot. I understood many things and even successfully applied this knowledge on myself. I could only overcome anxiety and depression when I decided to find meaning in my life. I wanted to give back to the society. So as I finished my degree, I realized that there were so many people out, persons with disabilities who needed my support. And this led to my decision to offer counseling services. When people started approaching me for support and guidance, I was glad. I started Cross the Hurdles, a right based organization working for persons with disabilities. After that, there was no looking back. I worked on many ideas. I began with counseling as I was a professional counselor, and it was a free online counseling portal. Then I developed the first mobile application for persons with disabilities, providing information they require. Then a mentoring program for women with disabilities, online classes for students with disabilities who are unable to go to regular schools. I developed a self paced course for persons with disabilities on comprehensive sexuality education and wrote many manuals regarding sexual and reproductive health and rights of women with disabilities. I have trained numerous women with and without disabilities in sexual health. It is rightly said that civilization's greatest single invention is a sentence. Through my writings, I believe, though little, I have been able to bring few positive changes in the society. I have written 8 books along with numerous papers in national and international journals. I got National Award from the President of India in 2016 for my contribution in the disability sector. I was one of the 100 Women's Achiever in 2016. In 2019, I was honored with Henry Viscardi Achievement Award from USA and became the first woman from India to get this award. I get bemused when people say, "You are so inspiring." Since my childhood, I was taught to get inspired by those who were selfless, hardworking, creative, innovative, or just dared to be different. Even when I was in school, other students were told to get inspiration from me. I thought, how about why my leg braces and disability could inspire anyone? In spite of studying the same curriculum in the same class, appearing for the same examination. Here, the ordinary task of completing Competing in school was given a heroic angle just because I had disability, and I suddenly became inspirational. I decide I never like to be portrayed as one-dimensional saint who only exists to tug the heartstrings and open the mind of non-disabled people. For them, it is always miserable and painful to live with disability. They are unable to understand the fact that, like everyone else, we too have good days and bad days, full of challenges. We go to school, we also work, we have friends and people we hate, have vices and virtues. We can also be complicated people. So, in case people want to get inspiration, please, they should not take inspiration from our disability. They must go and take lessons in resilience. Being disabled hasn't intrinsically made me worse off. The problem instead has been that my disability has been considered to be a bad difference from the norm instead of a mere difference from it. When I sit back and reflect on my life, I realize that my disability has become, as Neil Marcus has said, an ingenious way to live. Above all, I get beauty, courage, and comfort in resilience. That is a quiet yet confident reminder that life can be misery and turmoil coupled with wonder and excitement all wrapped in one. Resilience doesn't exist despite the chaos, it thrives because of it. Likewise, I feel that my success in my life should not be worded as despite disability, I have been able to do so. I have been able to reach a point where I am satisfied by all that I have achieved with my disability or incorporating disability in my life. I have broken the bias. No one else but we ourselves our own competition in life. Success shouldn't be measured by quantitative terms such as equal to, less than, or failure, but rather by reflecting over the fact that from where one has started and where one has reached finally. Motto of my life is 3 A's: acknowledge, adapt, and accept. We should create ourselves and renovate our lives. Now I am developing a toolkit on self-advocacy training for women with disabilities. I have also started a new endeavor by the name of the Demystifying Lab, where I am going to coach, train, and mentor people who would I would love to clear the fogs in their minds. So life with disability is not bad. Resilience is rolling, others are stoned. So this is my story. Thank you.
Thank you, Abaji. Very powerful story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very heartwarming story, and you truly are an inspiration. And I like what you spoke about how we need to not look at our disabilities because many people say differently abled, and I say it's better to say that all of us are differently disabled. Because and how do we find our abilities still within those disabilities that we all have, right? Because one need not just be physically disabled or mentally disabled. One can be disabled in so many ways. Yeah, and there's so many things which people can do. So thank you for that heartwarming story. And that was Aba Ketrapal, who's raised the bar with her first story. We have many more stories. We have seven, the Mojosh Magnificent Seven stories today. Aba was the first to start. After Aba, we have Bose from Africa. We have Danya Ravi. We have the two Meenas, Namrata and Sunita Atenas. Very inspiring stories of very powerful women. And as you would have seen in the Mojosh Magnificent Seven video, we celebrate people from all genders, and we have people from all genders in our Mojosh Magnificent Seven heroes. And we go and inspire people in several corporate events and conferences. And besides inspiring people, we also try and empower them to learn diversity and inclusion, learn to accept people the way they are without any discrimination, because it's all about inclusion and it's all about oneness. Over to you, Itu.
Thank you so much, Abba, for that absolutely magnificent story. And we at Rex Karam, we also talk about imperfectly perfect. We are all imperfectly perfect in the way we are. And, this very beautiful concept in Japanese called kintsukurai, which celebrates the cracks that we have. Because when we fill our cracks with experiences, with a gold and the silver and the bronze of our experiences, and then we are a beautiful new piece. Our value is increased, and that's how we are, and that's why imperfectly perfect. Thank you so much, Abba, for your wonderfully inspiring stories. And I'm sure people listening in and people who will come in and listen later also will be inspired by your story. And thank you so much for doing such a brilliant work in the arena that you are absolutely stalwart. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From there, we move on to Africa and we move to Nigeria, and we have Bose with us. And Bose is going to inspire us with her very, it's a stellar story of various breakdowns at various levels in her life, but she never gave up. And that's the true resilience that we are celebrating today. Over to you, Bose. Unmute yourself, Bose.
Sorry about that.
So,
Sorry.
sorry, Bose. At this point, I also have a housekeeping request because a lot of your friends are joining Zoom. Please ask them, message them to please join the Facebook live page. Yeah, because the
Okay.
Zoom link is only for the speakers. To watch, they can join the Facebook live page. Just go to Facebook Rex Ideas for Action Live and you can watch it live over there.
I've
Over to
shared
you,
my
Bose,
page with everyone on the group, so please use that link.
and forward it to them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Bose. I'm from Nigeria, West Africa. And life, if it is not built strong, you cannot make the journey of life. I am determined. I am resilient. Also, I am empowered. I have this short quote from Martin Luther King, and he said, "My personal trials have also taught me the values of unmerited suffering. As my suffering mounted, I soon realized that there were two ways that I could respond to my situation, either to react with bitterness or to transform my suffering into creative force. And that is what I've done as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, as a wife. Some years back, I used to work in a lab, a private medical laboratory. And in my short period of working there, I had lots of people coming to take HIV tests. This was as early in year 2000. And one day I woke up, I just did the test. I took the HIV test on myself and I discovered I was HIV positive. To me, it was devastating. It was depressing because as a single parent, I thought about what will people think about me? What will they say about me? What will my parents say about me? How will my son survive without me? And as little as the boy was, he was 7 years old when I told him I had HIV. And I just told him this. I said, I'm dying, that he should not worry. My mom and my elder brother will take care of him when I'm gone. This affected him psychologically and emotionally. He became absent-minded in school. And several occasions I've been called by his teacher that they don't know what was wrong with the boy. But I never knew the impact of what I told him back then. My healing journey, I chose to live positively, even with the virus. I chose to move on with life. I chose to break all bias. And back then, there was no information about HIV. The only information we have is that you can only get HIV when you are promiscuous. And the fear of the stigma of what community will see me for. Who will they call me? So when I joined the NGO world, I chose to also impact many lives positively with my story. So my story, my life has impacted a lot of women out there, particularly the young adolescent, young person. I got married 15 years ago to a man who is HIV negative. Yeah, and I remember the first time I met him, and I chose to disclose my HIV status because I know one of these days he might see me on the TV screen or read about me in the newspaper, because I've granted a lot of both print and electronic media interviews. And when I told him, he wept at the public bus stop. And I was dumbfounded. Why is he crying? You know? And he said one thing. He said, if only I've met you 2 years before now, maybe my sister, her husband, and their baby will still be alive. So for me, I overcome this challenge, the healing process. I overcome it mentally, and I overcome it physically and emotionally. My family response also helped me to overcome this, because when I told my parents, my mom said it's a parasite, and the way it comes into your body, the same way it will disappear. And my father said this to me. My father said, your death, any death that will kill you, let it come to me first. And my husband said this to me. He said, your death is my death and your fasting is my fasting. So I have a supporting system from my family. Then I joined the Well Project in 2011, and this gave me the privilege to impact as many young adolescent kids at the grassroots level. So my greatest passion as a woman living with HIV is to give back to my community by bridging the gap of information among young adolescent persons, particularly the young girls. So I take HIV health education, HIV sexually reproductive health and rights to young adolescent kids in school, particularly the girls' child at the grassroots level. I could only do this through the Well Project, because they've given me this great opportunity to break every bias and to break the barriers of inadequate information among our young adolescent persons. So this I've been doing over the years as a global ambassador to the Well Project. I've been on medication for 18 years now. I've been taking the HIV medication. I've had 2 children, even with my HIV status, who are HIV negative. And I knew when I had the first child, after knowing my HIV status, I was told and I was asked, why will you want to bring a child into this life when you only have a short period to live? But for me, I made a plan. I made a plan to live a long and healthy life. So by doing this, I was empowered to read more about HIV, to understand the science of HIV. And this has really, really helped me as a woman living with HIV for over 20 years. And like I said, healthy living. First, you need to first embrace this, because I know a family have to call me when their persons die. I've gone to dress corpse of a person living with HIV, because the family could not touch, even after the death, they could not touch the person. Stigma is still on the high side when it comes to HIV, but I choose not to see stigma. I choose to see the positive side of life. I choose to see life. I choose to see how beautiful life is, and I've choose to embrace life. I've choose to live and live healthy, and I believe I'm going to live for a very long time by the grace of God. And my kids are doing well. They are HIV negative. They are all doing well, and to God be the glory. And like I said, life will keep on throwing tantrum at us as far as we are alive, but it depends on how well and how our heart is ready to move on with what life is throwing at us. It's difficult sometimes. I know it's very, very difficult, but I want to encourage you out there. that as far as you are living, life will surely continue throwing tantrum at you. So live life, embrace life, and enjoy life because life is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Bose. That's an awe-inspiring story, and there's so many life lessons to learn from your story. You know, the Mojo Inspirator is a book that we put together, which has life, leadership, and learning to learn lessons. And I think you and Abba both encompass and embody all these lessons, which are about emotional, mental, spiritual, moral, and physical intelligence. And I liked what you said in the end, that though you have so many uh, turns and uh, you know uh, life throwing different challenges at you, you have chosen to live well with the attitude of gratitude by understanding your vulnerability, and
Mm,
you also have the integrity and the courage of conviction to inspire others and to be a change champion by working with the Well Project. And it's a very heartwarming story filled up with life lessons, and that's the Mojo Inspirator framework for you. It's 0 plus 3 mindsets, Mojo, about how do you understand the potential and the power within you, which is the Mojo mindset. The Josh
mm,
mindset, to keep unboxing, unleashing, and unpacking that unlimited potential. And inspirator mindset, to inspire others, because the more you inspire others, the more inspired you feel. And that has come out so strongly in both your Abba and Bose's stories. Thank you so much for sharing those very powerful life
thank you.
leadership and learning to learn lessons. Over to you, Itu.
Thank you so much. And before we move on to the next speaker, I'd just like to dedicate one of my poems to what both of you have said, and it's absolutely humbling and to know, and it's absolutely inspiring to know your story. So the poem goes, Labyrinth Called Life. Who said it will be roses, sails, and
Mm,
calm? Who said it will be smiles, laughter, and charms? Who said
mm,
it will be romance, heartmate, and only beautiful dance?
mm,
Who said it will be sheen, bright, and great chance? Tell them it will be thorns, dark valleys, and purgatory trance. Tell
mm,
them it will be long walk, no rest, and mock. Tell them
mhm,
it will be heartbreak, remake, pain to partake. Tell them struggle to meander through treacherous labyrinth. Also,
mm,
forget not to tell them that there's light at the end of the long, dark night, that the breakthrough is conceivable and achievable, power in our might, that our
mm,
cracks through this drudgery are in our hands to repair and can be
mm.
filled with gold as we for next onslaught prepare. So thank you so much. This is dedicated to all the women and all the people who have the
Thank you.
resilience to break through. And with that, we move on to our next speaker, who's also our ex-Karamveer fellow already, and that is Dhanya Ravi. So over to you, Dhanya, to inspire us even more.
Yes, she has been our ex Karmavir Global Fellow for a long time now, is a recipient of many Karmavir Chakra awards. Congratulations for all the great work that you do and for being our change champion. And over to you, Danya.
Thank you so much, Jerry and Eto. It's always amazing to be part of the Rex family and the platform. Thank you so much for encouraging all of us. I'm very moved with the speaker, sharing a space with this such wonderful warriors. If a new baby cries, from the medical fraternity, it is said that it's a sign of good development. The child feels safe. My doctor and family celebrated the moment when I did the same. But when I continuously started to cry, things weren't the same anymore. After intense medical research, doctors informed my parents I'm born with this genetic condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, commonly known as brittle bone disease. I come from a very humble family where my parents weren't sure how to nurture a child with differences. They were unsure of the medical possibilities of brittle bone disease. They weren't sure if education would add value to my journey. But They were confident of treating my brother and me equally. This one gesture helped me become the woman I am today. My disability did not condition me. I always felt disabled when I experienced barriers and biases. I was homeschooled until 10th grade because mainstream educational institution denied admission because of my disability. I started to understand volunteering power when I first met Miss Victoria, my neighbor who turned out to be my teacher. She showed me what selfless service means. For 10 years, she voluntarily taught me school academic books and ensured that her contribution to my life was her knowledge and not monetary benefits. Later, I took my studies to the Open University and my captain incubated at NSRCEL. She has been a great influencer in my journey. No one till now, I would say, we have been recognized with the situational awareness, even though currently we live in such a privileged place and era. Let me tell each one of you how I am here regardless of what I went through. Environmental stigma is much more than disability disgrace. From a very young age, everyone has some form of unconscious bias like class, gender, race, ability, sexuality from a very young age that we get abused by people. From when even on my very vulnerable state, according to my conditions, character is that until teenage, my bones are extremely brittle. Even then, I've been questioned by people how I will be part of the family and the society. Will I be independent? A lot more questions. Implicit bias turned out to be a stereotypical assumption that